Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for all of you for joining us here this morning at the 2016 Rehab Update. We're all very excited to have you attend, either here live in person, or we also have a great number of people joining us via simulcast on a WebEx. It's an option that we've provided now for the second time, and we are really glad that we can do that as part of our service to you so that we can accommodate your schedules and your locations, because we know that rehab providers can be anywhere in the state of Minnesota. So with that, we're very lucky to have our Commissioner, Ken Peterson, with us today to start off our welcome. And please welcome Commissioner Peterson.
Thanks, John. Welcome, everybody. We're just trying to figure out how many of these we've had. So we're going to, we figure it's somewhere between 12 and, what do we figure, 7. So of these biannual rehab update conference. We're going to call this the 15th biannual conference, biannual rehab update conference. So welcome, and if anybody wants to take the time to go home and try to figure out what's the real number, please do so. We're going to call it 15. But as Commissioner, I'm very happy to be here, and I greatly value, since I've been at the department, I've learned to greatly value the work that both QRCs and vendors do to help out to make our workers' compensation system work better. I hope today's training is useful for you, that some of the information will undoubtedly be new to some, while for others it'll be old and you know it well. But bear with us, since we have a lot of ground to cover, to make sure that you have the information you need for best practices. One announcement, I believe, as most of you know, that as of October 1st, QRC rates will increase about $3 an hour from $4.09 to $7.21. $7.21. Vendor rates, hourly vendor rates will go up from $79.02 to $81.39 per hour. Anyway, well, they're going to have a couple bucks. But in total, our rehab costs were, in 2014, as last year we measured it, were $43 million. $43 million. That is 2.6% of the total cost of our $1.7 million workers' compensation system. For those funds, for that money, I think the state's getting a great deal. I think employers and employees of our state are getting a great deal. When you consider that our injured workers, Minnesota's injured workers, get back to work faster than almost any other state in the union. So it's a really good deal. And all of us need to keep working on that and to keep getting those workers back to work as quickly as we can. As you know, Minnesota is doing pretty well economically. Our unemployment rate is 4%, which is the rate that economists consider to be full employment. It was down to 3.8, 3.7, but 4% is pretty healthy. Last week, the Bureau of Labor Statistics said Minnesota's median household income for 2015 was $63,500. That's 14% above the national average. 14% above the national average. It's the highest number. We have the highest income in the Midwest, and I think it's one or two highest outside of the Eastern Seaboard. Our poverty level is 10.2%, the second lowest in the nation. So we're making good money here. We have good incomes, and our poverty level is pretty low. It's still too high. Every person that's in poverty, that's living below the poverty line, is one too many, but nevertheless, it's second lowest in the country. There's no doubt we've got problems. We have too large of racial income disparities, much too large. In some regions, like the Iron Range, are suffering from real high unemployment. Still, overall, we have to remember there's a lot of good news about Minnesota's economy. And our new problem is, and this is where you're important, is we need workers. We have thousands of baby boomers retiring, and businesses in our state are growing. They're exporting more. They're doing well. Earlier this month, right after Labor Day, 6 other state agency commissioners and I traveled in the western part of the state for most of that week. We met with business people and employers and community leaders, finding out what was on their mind. And what we heard was not what we expected. we expect to hear you got to cut taxes, you have to cut regulations. We did hear some of that, but not very much. The single most common refrain we heard is, we need more workers. We need workers of all skill levels. We have to help them. They want us to help them locate more people. And that's a term we're hearing not only just in that trip, but elsewhere, that we've got actually a worker shortage in Minnesota right now. In the Twin Cities, the ratio of the unemployed to vacancies is 1-to-1. That means that for every unemployed person in the 7 counties, there's a job, assuming, of course, that he or she can fill that job. She has the proper skills to fill a job. It's not that much different in greater Minnesota either. There, the ratio is 1 to 1.13, so just a little more. So our state needs all the workers we can get at all skill levels. Of course, we need to keep our strong educational system. We need to have good job training, but we also need to get injured workers, every injured worker, back to work. As a state, we can't afford, for moral purposes, but also for economic purposes. We can't afford not to give every individual the opportunity to reach their full potential. That's why you're so important. That's why the work you do as QRCs and vendors is so important for your clients, for families, for employers, for communities, and for our state. Please keep it up. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it. We need it. And I hope each of you finds the conference to be valuable and worthwhile. Thanks for coming.